100 miles a week. If you've done any kind of research or reading or running or know anything about long distance running, you'll know that 100 miles a week is that kind of golden number that marathon runners and middle distance runners always say you should run to be able to run fast, have endurance, and run good race times. That really inspired me because I thought, okay, if the pro runners can run 100 miles a week, why can't a guy like me just go out and run 100 miles a week? So last October, I decided that I was going to go all in. And for 7 months, I was going to run an average of 100 miles per week and then see what I could achieve. Does that 100 miles a week actually work? Does it make you faster? Does it make you a better runner? I had a big goal race at the end of this 7 months, which was the London Marathon. And then around 6 weeks before that, I had a half marathon, which was kind of like a tune-up race for London. And I'll share with you later the times that I ran after the 7 months of the 100 miles a week. I'm not young. I'm 42 years old. I've only been running for 3.5 years. But I wanted to test it. I knew I had potential to run fast times. I'd run pretty good race times before, but I wanted to see what this 100 miles a week sustained over a long period, 7 months, could actually do for me. So I developed a plan to get the 100 miles in each week. I'd run a run in the morning and then one again in the evening. And I'd do that for 6 days a week. And then on a Sunday, I'd run a longer run. The plan was to run approximately 9 miles in the morning at like a steady pace, and then 6 miles in the evening at an easy pace, and then a long run on a Sunday, which would be 18 to 21 miles at probably a steady to easy-ish pace as well for that one. If you're following along with the maths, that obviously is more than 100 miles a week, but I wanted to fit into my schedule more because I knew I'd have days when I wouldn't be able to run. I'd get ill, I'd get injured, and I wanted to do more. So I covered the base. So over that 7 months, I did average over 100 miles a week. Right, so I'm going to jump into Strava now and just show you exactly what I did and what happened. As you can see, it shows my weekly mileage. I'm going to start it off from September. So start here with this week, 26th of September to 2nd of October. That's 109 miles that week. So as I said before, I was running the approximately 9 miles in the morning, 8.7 here, and the 6 miles in the evening. And this week was a long run on a Saturday, and then the Sunday was down to the usual morning and evening runs. We go into October, we've got another 100-mile week. I dropped down to 65 miles then because I had a marathon, the Yorkshire Marathon, in that week. And the following week, again, was a smaller mileage as a week after the marathon. I actually can't believe I ran 82 miles in a week after a marathon, but there we go, I did. And then we go up to a 116-mile week, 126-mile week, the 31st of October to the 6th of November, 134-mile week on the 7th, 13th of November. And this week I was running big mileage in the mornings. So I was running 19 miles in the morning some days. Really went a bit crazy this week. And some of these runs were at crazy times of day. See, this run was a 14.7 mile run at 5:32 in the morning. And you've got 103-mile week, 122 miles, 137 miles, 106 miles. You can see the mileage drops down here quite significantly, very significantly in December. I got a virus that I just couldn't shake off. My son goes to nursery and my other son goes to school, and they bring back every virus you can think of in the winter, and I just couldn't shake them. And I thought, well, I'm just going to have a bit of a break for the 3 weeks and do some cycling over Christmas period. And also had a couple of niggles and decided, right, I'm just going to get back into it in January properly. So then, which is the reason why I knew that doing more than 100-mile weeks in the autumn would be the best solution, because I knew I'd have weeks like this. But from then on, up until April, I didn't have a break. So we go from 108 miles, 108 miles, 106 miles, 116 miles, a less one here, 173 miles, and then I think from this on it's 130, it's 100 plus every week from this one onwards, 121 miles, 113 miles there in March, 114 miles, 121 miles, 118 miles, 114 miles, 111 miles, and then this is the week of the London Marathon, 66 miles, so I cut it down significantly for the London Marathon. This is the week of the Surrey Half Marathon, and I didn't taper at all for that 113-mile week, and then the next week was a 114-mile week, so there's no tapering before that race. Did it affect me? Probably. Could I have run faster if I'd tapered? Probably. But it was really good training for London, which was to come. Another thing I want to mention is people say, well, how do you fit these runs in? How do you fit these long runs in? How do you train so many miles in a week? But look at this run on a November morning, 5:27 in the morning, I'm running 15 miles. It's possible, yeah, but I think that whole run would have been in the dark. And yeah, that's not ideal, but I knew I had a busy day and you just got to get it in. The same the next day. It was a 20-mile run at 5:16 in the morning, 2-hour run, done. Now with that run for the rest of the day, that's me done. Other days when I've done a bit less, like this day, I'll again go and run in the evening and get some extra mileage in. 5:14 in the morning, and it just goes on. 5:17 in the morning, 5:09 in the morning. I actually found it easier than I thought I would. Splitting up the runs into 2 runs a day was fine. I wasn't overly tired. I didn't feel like my body needed a break. I was hungry a lot. I was hungry all the time, which kind of makes sense because I'm just burning a lot more calories running more distance. Now the race results. So in the half marathon, which was around 6 weeks before the London Marathon, I ran that in 68:53, which is a PB. And I was really pleased with it because I didn't taper at all before that race. I carried on running the 100 miles a week, got to the Sunday where the race was, ran that race, and then just carried on running that high mileage 100 miles a week again. And I think if I had tapered, I could have run faster, I could have run better, but it was a great race, a really good time. Finished second, and I was really pleased with that. And I knew that it was all this running, all this volume of running that helped and got me that time. So then I knew, okay, I'm in good shape. Got the London Marathon in 6 weeks. Let's do this. So for London, I only really properly tapered about a week before the marathon. And I reduced my volume down to about 60 miles for that week. And then in London, I ran 2 hours, 24 minutes and 31 seconds, which is a massive PB. And I finished 33rd. Unbelievable. And I can only really put that down to running that volume of mileage. Yes, there's other factors involved. You know, I trained before this 7-month stint. I'm obviously genetically, I've got the ability to run fast, but come on, that time, putting that much effort in and that much volume in over 7 months, it made a huge difference. I felt so strong before the race. I felt really good before the London Marathon. I knew I was going to run a fast time. My body just felt like a running machine. And most of that comes down to the 7 months of consistent 100 miles a week. A caveat for this is that you shouldn't just suddenly increase your mileage to 100 miles a week from, let's say you're at 50 miles a week. You need to gradually increase it. They say 10% a week is a good way to do that. And I had been gradually increasing my mileage before I ran the 100 miles a week. I think you just get injured and you would find it too hard if you did that. Some people have said they can make big leaps, but I think you just need to be careful. Would I do it again? Yes, 100%. It definitely worked. It definitely made me a better runner. It's obvious, isn't it? Consistent high mileage over a long period of time is going to make you faster. Will I do it again? Yes, definitely. My next marathon, again, 100% I'll be doing that kind of training.